Gary, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Keith, I appreciate you having us. Excited to chat with you and team today.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you because we're going to talk about Pluralsight, which is a company that, like your tagline is great. It's the technology workforce development platform. So we need to unpack that. What is Pluralsight and what does the company do?
Well, as you hit, it's all about workforce development. So we are focused just on technology. And I think that's a big thing because there's a lot of education companies out there that are focused on everything. But if you go back, what was it, about 10 years ago, Mark Andreessen said that software is eating the world. I mean, very few statements have held so true as the last 10 years. And we've wanted to really specialize in being that development tool for technology. And it's trying to keep up with that requires a lot of things. But fundamentally, we've got a couple of core products. We have Skills, which is the educational upskilling and reskilling solution. And then we also have Flow, which is our software delivery intelligence platform. So think about that as like the analytics around the behaviors of your software delivery experience.
So who are the typical customers for Pluralsight? Like, how does that all work?
Well, back to the software in the world, it's really everyone at this point in time. Anyone who has any need for technology to be deployed in their company. We have small businesses, mom and pop shops. We've got the largest companies in the world. So we've got everything from your individual learner who's looking to get into the technology space to the seasoned veteran who's been working at Microsoft for decades.
Now, if this was an enterprise customer that we're talking about, like how does it work for them?
Yeah, so they're really using it to help programatize their upskilling and reskilling or gain insights to how their teams are actually developing and delivering on software. So speaking to like, what is programatizing your tech skills? It's really like, first step is just understanding what are you strategically trying to do as a company? And a lot of times you've got CIOs, CTOs who are sitting there thinking like, okay, here are the things that I need to go do with this technology. And like, they think about the budget and they think about what I'm going to do for the customer. And what's really become aware, and especially the last couple of years, is like, I need to be thinking about the skills that I have on my teams because it moves so quickly now. When I thought we had enough skills to go deliver on that 2 years ago when we came up with this idea, well, technology's completely shifted and I now need to reskill or upskill folks into being able to go deliver on that. I think the cloud transformation has done a massive number of things. So now that these individuals are thinking about this strategically, great, what skills do I have in my company? I can tell you, like right now, most companies are doing that via like manager one-on-ones, like in like Excel spreadsheets or whatever, Google Sheets, whatever it might be. And what we've really done is built a platform that allows you to actually see that. What are the skills? Create an inventory, start to understand where are you strong, where are you not, where are people developing, where are they growing, where are they not, align that to your strategic initiatives, and then create programs that will then help you drive that skill development from where you're currently at to where you need to be to go deliver on whatever your strategic initiatives are.
Got it. Okay. Now, Pluralsight's a very successful company. So talk about the current stage, like the size of the company, number of employees, or whatever else you can share.
Yeah. So a couple of things here. I mean, you hit on stage, and I love that because there's been different stages throughout the years here at Pluralsight. And I think that one of the key things that we just kicked off here in January was Pluralsight 4.0. It is a new stage for us, and it's a new opportunity. We recently went private, so we had been a public company and gone through that version of Pluralsight 3.0. And now as a private company, it's really unlocked the doors for us to make some really big bets and look at that long-term impact that we're going to have and really accelerate growth to go deliver on that. So right now, today, we're over 2,000 people across the entire world. I think we have employees in 21 countries or so. That's constantly updating, so I don't know the exact number, but I think that's right. And I mean, back to the nature of the business, it's like we're over 50% remote. We've got our headquarters here where I'm at today in Salt Lake City, but I live in Chicago. I'm full-time remote. Our executive team, our teams are spread around the world. We have offices in Boston and Austin and Dublin and India and recently in Australia as well. So we've got sort of like these hubs, and then team members that are, whether they be hybrid or fully remote around the world.
Now you're the general manager of skills. So talk about your team. Like what's your team working on right now?
So we've got some exciting things. I think one of the big things is we recently acquired a cloud guru, and it's really a merger of the two biggest powerhouses of technology skills. A Cloud Guru is focused just on cloud transformation, Pluralsight on software development, security, the broad space for anything technology. And so one of the big exciting things is we're actually bringing the best of those platforms together. Some of the hands-on capabilities that ACG had and deploying that across more things, taking the skills inventory and skill IQ, which I talked about earlier, and taking that back to the cloud space. And so bringing that together in a shared platform and really thinking about what could this look like from a user experience where you can focus really on just your role and what you're tackling today. But when you realize, oh, shoot, I need to learn that other technology topic that's adjacent, all of a sudden be able to reach out and grab and have access to that as well. So that's a big one that I'm excited about. And then the other two that I would call out are Tech Foundations, which is a offering for, think of this as like, we call it conversational knowledge. You don't need to go be the practitioner, but nowadays everyone in the business, like all the companies out there are like looking at like, how do I make sure that you know what artificial intelligence is or what blockchain is or what 5G is, and not to go actually be a practitioner on it, but how to actually just like, oh, this is how this applies to our world. This is how what I need to know to be able to talk with our engineering teams or our data science team or whatever it might be, or to our customers. And so it's this conversational program built from the ground up, really focused on, instead of like force feeding people, I think we've all taken the forced training on security awareness or whatever. That's no fun at all. And so we tried to create something that was really like going to benefit everyone and not be a force fed, but a value add to individuals who aren't practitioners. So that was one. And the other is just the growth on the insights and analytics. We have some fun things coming down the pipeline because again, there's so much data that's out there today, and that's great. And we create a lot of that ourselves, but it's like, what do you do with that? How do you take this knowledge of, great, I've got these skills. Now, how do I actually map that to my objectives? So there's a lot of exciting stuff coming in those areas.
Now you had mentioned a lot of the workforce at Pluralsight is remote. So what's the culture like working there? What's the day-to-day environment like?
Yeah, so definitely remote friendly is what we call it here. So our goal is about making sure that the people are the best talent in the right places in the right time. And we've been remote long before the world sort of went remote in 2020 with the pandemic. We've had remote teams for decades at this point in time. I mean, really not quite since the existence, but pretty close. And so we built a culture that understands like leading through a remote environment, which is so critical. Like you can't just say, hey, I'm remote, and then like think you can just do the same thing that you are doing every day, because then you have dynamics of presence bias and things like that start to creep in. So we've got a team that really understands how to work together remotely, and we're constantly learning and evolving as like the tools and everything grow. I think the other question you sort of asked is like, what's the culture? So there's the culture of being remote, but then there's also the culture of like the people. And I think this is one of the reasons why I've been here at Pluralsight as long as I have, is truly the people. We acknowledge that everyone's sort of unique and brings their own flavor of life to the group. And it's relishing that uniqueness that actually makes us a really fun team to be together. And so it's that idea of like, if you ask someone here, like, hey, why are you like, what do you like so much about Pluralsight? All of our employee surveys talk about like the people. And it's because we allow and we focus on everyone just bringing their whole selves. Like you're a member of a family, you're a member of a community, you're a member of whatever it might be. And it's like, bring all of that to our team and show up that way and learn about each other. And I think that's, it's really fun when you're just like in the halls, catching up with people, learning, like, you know, about their family, you know, about what they're doing. And like, that's a major focus of our discussions. It happens over Zoom with our belonging check-ins and things like that. So I'd say that the culture is one of community and people first here at Pluralsight.
Now there's a lot of growth happening at Pluralsight. So in terms of hiring, is that across all different functional areas?
Absolutely. I'm trying to think if there's a role in the business that we're not actively hiring. I mean, as you are aware in this space right now, that there's a hot market around the world. And there, just because of what we're actually even training and developing, is one of software development. And everyone's saying, hey, I need more software developers, or I need more cloud engineers, or I need more security professionals. When we're literally training that, we're also in the same boat. We're trying to hire more security professionals, DevOps professionals. We're also developing them in ourselves internally, which is super exciting. Like, that's one of the things that I would say is a benefit to coming to Pluralsight, is like, we are fundamentally a learning company. Like, at the root of what we started, at the root of how we act day in and day out. So like, hey, we're short DevOps engineers. Great, let's build an academy with our own products, with our instructor-led training, with our on-demand, with our labs and everything, and bring that together, create an academy, and develop folks to bring them up to the skill level and actually hire them. And we do that internally, from customer support into DevOps or whatever it might be. And so I think that that's another sort of value and cultural piece, is that like focus on learning. But we're hiring product managers, we're hiring product designers, we're hiring data analysts and business analysts and DevOps engineers and sales team members. Like, literally, like, if you go to pluralsight.com/careers, and you'll see all about not only the environment here, but also all the opportunities that there are. And that's the other thing, is like, once you get in the door, if you are truly committed to learning, which is one of our values, is you've got the opportunity to continue to grow. In the last, I think, year and a half at this point in time, over 48% of people have stepped into new roles, been promoted into new roles, stepped into new career opportunities, like almost half the company. So like, you talk about like learning and putting your money where your mouth is, like, it's about developing folks. And if you want to grow with the company, you've got an opportunity to do that here.
That's a really impressive statistic in terms of the internal growth. I mean, that's definitely something that people are looking for, to grow within a company and hopefully hit the next milestone in their career. Now, as you highlighted, the market is active. There's lots of opportunities for people to explore. So why is now the ideal time to join Pluralsight?
Yeah, twofold. One is, and this is, it's not just about now, it's just about Pluralsight, is Pluralsight is one of those rare companies where you can come, develop your career, continue to grow and learn new things, be challenged day in and day out, make a good living, and do it at a company where you're actually creating good in the world. Like, there's a lot of companies out there where you can go make a living and be selling something that is sometimes an addiction, or like a material, like things that are good and like entertaining and valuable, but not like true at its core good. What we are literally doing is creating knowledge opportunities and career development opportunities for individuals around the world, whether that be at a Fortune 100 company, or an individual who's in a place where maybe there's less opportunities. They have access to Pluralsight and have the ability to create a career. The letters that we get via LinkedIn and our NPS surveys, and just cold on like Twitter and things like that, like, it's amazing to see the impact that you have on people's lives. We actually have stories where like people have said, it saved my life. It took me from a path of potentially ending my life to a path of having meaning in career. And it's like, there aren't a lot of places where you get that mix. So I think that's true. The why now Pluralsight element, for me, it's because we're starting that new chapter. And we talk about this Pluralsight 4.0. There is an opportunity now. We're not going to rest on our laurels. Like you said, we've had success. We've grown like from infancy to a public company. Now taking it private allows us to really focus on that long-term growth and really changing the game again. Like, we're not going to sit back and just say, hey, we're happy with what we've got, let's just run it out, let's keep making money. No, it's like, how do we make the ability to learn quicker, easier, more fun? How do we enable you to actually be more successful in your role, in your life, to take that career hop from one side of the responsibility to another? How do we, as a company, help you actually go solve those big world problems with healthcare and the environment and whatnot? You're actually, at Pluralsight, you're creating that tool that's going to enable all of those things to happen in the future.
Well, as Gary mentioned, Pluralsight is hiring across the board. So there's lots and lots of opportunities to explore. You can check out their openings on VentureFizz. Go to venturefizz.com/Pluralsight, and you'll see all their job listings there. Gary, thanks so much for taking the time to walk us through all the great things happening at the company.
Well, Keith, thank you so much for having me, and look forward to connecting more with your community.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. At VentureFizz, our mission is to share the stories of companies, their people, and culture. So if you're interested in more interviews with founders and executives in the tech industry, make sure you click on the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching.